Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and we are back for week 13 of the NFL season. I am joined by Tommy Barbosa because he's no longer Tony until Tommy DeVito loses a game, and he beat the New England Patriots, so we're going to continue to call him Tommy Barbosa. Shout out to Lino DeVito, because when I see you, Lino, that's your new name. You're Lino DeVito until your team wins another game. I'm also joined by Jose Carlos Gomes, who has the proper hat on today.
Always have that hat on.
Yes. Gil Santos is at the Raptors game today, watching the Raptors beat the Suns and drinking a lot of beer. So we'll see him probably next week. For last week, me and Barbosa had 11 wins each. Jose and Gil had 9 each last week. The records are now Barbosa at 111 and 69, Jose at 117 and 63, Gil at 109 and 71, and myself at 107 73, making a remarkable comeback from a horrible start. I am now 52 and 17 in my last 4 weeks, so thank God for that. 10 games out of it. Jose has a 6-game lead over Barbosa and 8 over Gil. So Barbosa having a little bit of slippage, which was expected, but he's hanging on to his lead for now. 5 more weeks to go, plus playoffs. Jose, are you worried?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking. All right. Let's start with the first game, which is Thursday night. Does anyone here believe that the Italian Stallion has any hope of beating the Cowboys this week?
No.
I don't think so.
Especially the Cowboys are at home. Their defense is starting to play well. So is Dak. I don't see Seattle winning this game. I think the Cowboys will win this game.
Yeah, Seattle's been bad for a month now, and Dallas seems to pounce on teams like this, and they really hammer teams at home. So I got Dallas. Jose.
Yeah, me too. I got Dallas. They feast on the weaker teams, and Seattle's a weaker team. I think they had their little run while they were winning, but now this reality has hit them, and they are what they are, and they're probably like a 500 team. So I'm gonna take Dallas in this one too as well.
Okay, so we're all on the Cowboys. Gil has the Cowboys as well. Now let's get into the Sunday action as the Denver Broncos, who have now won 5 straight games, a remarkable run for them.
They're the hottest team in the NFL.
They are. They absolutely are. They go to Houston to take on a very unlucky C.J. Stroud last week, who played his heart out and lost to the Jaguars. They still have an outside chance of making the playoffs, but the division is probably lost now. But we'll see. Big game for both teams. Jose, who do you got?
This one's a tough pick. If you were gonna go based on QB play, I would take Houston, because I believe CJ Stroud this year has been better than what's his name, Russell Wilson. Yeah. But in saying that, I'm going to take Denver just based on their defense lately. I think their defense lately has been stepping up. They've been shutting down good offenses lately, and I know they haven't bet anybody special. They won against Minnesota and Cleveland last week, but I think this is a game that they
beat KC on this run.
Yeah. The first game of that winning streak they won. KC. But I'm just saying, I think Denver, they need this game more, and it's a good for and they needed it for the playoff run, and Houston holds one of the last playoff spots, so I'm gonna take Denver.
Barbosa.
Yeah, I agree with Jose. I'm gonna take Denver. Their defense has been playing a lot better the last 5 weeks on their winning streak. And Russell Wilson I think he's getting more comfortable in Denver there with the receivers. And she's just still a rookie. Houston's they're still a fairly young team, so they're going to have their slips. I think this is going to be one, even though they're at home. But I see Denver coming out. I just like their defense play lately in the last 5 games.
Okay, so Denver's been on a nice run. They've capitalized on a lot of turnovers. Their defense has played better. However, their rush defense is still awful. I believe that Houston will run the ball well with Devin Singletary, and because CJ Stroud does not make a lot of mistakes, the Houston Texans win this game by a field goal. So I got Houston. Gil, who loves the Broncos, is on the Broncos in this one. Now let's go to what I classify as an ugly bowl, because it's the LA Chargers at New England. This is not going to be a pretty football game. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to pick it. But because I have to pick it, because we're doing the show, we have to talk about it. Last week, once again, the Chargers figure out a way to lose. This is what they do. And the Jets might have the worst combination of quarterbacks in NFL history. Having said that, I'll take the Chargers. Barbosa.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers just because of the quarterback play.
Tim Boyle and Zach Wilson. I don't think there is a worse. I can't think of one in history worse than them. Jose, who do you got?
Don't the Chargers play the New England Patriots?
Yes.
Isn't that
They play the Patriots.
Okay, my bad, guys. Chargers versus New England. I mixed the game up.
No.
I'll say it again. New England is playing the 2 worst quarterbacks I've ever seen next to the Jets, Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. Having said that, I'm still taking the Chargers. Jose.
Yeah, they're both 2 teams that are struggling. Chargers, like you said, they've been giving away a lot of games lately. In that saying, I think New England's tanking. I think they're starting to tank. Last week they missed a chip shot field goal, like in the last play of the game to tie up the game, send it to overtime against the Giants. I think they're tanking. And in saying that, then I'm gonna take LA Chargers. I just think they have the better quarterback play. They have more offensive weapons. I think they'll put up more points and they'll come up with the win. So I'm taking LA Chargers.
Barbosa, what do you think of your boy Tommy DeVito? Looking good again, eh?
I don't know. He looks okay.
He outplayed Mac Jones, dude. He outplayed Mac Jones.
But yeah, Mac Jones.
He beat Bill Belichick. He beat Belichick.
Still, I don't know.
Yeah, well, they found a way. By the way, that field goal miss, like the way that he missed that kick, I swear it felt like it was on purpose. Like it was so far left that it was almost like they told him to miss it. Like that's how bad he missed it. But I'm not going to go there. But it looks like New England wants Caleb Williams bad. So we all got the Chargers in this one. Sorry for the mix-up, but we'll get to the Jets later. Now we go to the Detroit Lions, who continue to be a team that just baffles me. When you expect them to ascend and be a top team, they go and play clunkers like they did against Green Bay. And shame on Gil Santos for giving up in your team. But too bad you're not here for me to insult you on that. So now the Detroit Lions go on the road to take on an equally inept team called the New Orleans Saints, who I told everyone was going to lose to Atlanta last week. And I mean, just look how they played. Just an embarrassment. 5 field goals, fumbling in the end zone, multiple turnovers. Having said that, I told you guys I hate Derek Carr, so I'm taking the Lions. Jose.
Yeah. This is I don't know. You don't know which teams are like. These are teams that they expect to win, they lose, and go vice versa with the Detroit and New Orleans. New Orleans, when they're so unpredictable, it's not even funny. Like 1 week when they're supposed to win, they lose. When they're supposed to lose, they're gonna win the game. So, but right now, I think Detroit needs this game more. I know in that shitty division, even if they lose, they're still alive. New Orleans Saints. In that saying that, I think Detroit pulls off the win. I think they have the better offense right now, and they have a better running game that's going to help them. And so I'm going to take Detroit.
Tommy.
Yeah, I don't like this game either. Two, like you guys said, 2 inconsistent teams. I don't know what you're going to get lately from Detroit. It's down what 20 points or whatever they were to the Bears and still found a way to come back. And then last week they lose to Green Bay at home. But I guess their Thanksgiving record is not the greatest. What are they? 0-7 in the last?
0-8.
I don't know.
Eight
Yeah,
straight
0-8.
losses on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but saying that, I like him better than New Orleans. Yeah, and Reese, like you said, I don't know what the hell's going on with Derek Carr to be kicking field goals against Atlanta. It baffles me. So for that reason, I'm going to take the Lions.
Gil is the only one on New Orleans in this one. Now let's go to another team. I made a mistake on this last week. I forgot how bad the Cardinals are against the Rams. I forgot. I went back and looked at it after, and I'm like, every time Kyler Murray plays the Rams, he gets destroyed. And I still took Arizona last week. That was a mistake. The Rams pounded the Cardinals last week. The Pittsburgh Steelers finally fired their offensive coordinator and had their first 400-yard game in 2 years. Having said that, I'll take the Steelers. Barbosa.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers. I've been on the Steelers all year for a couple of games, and you can see that when you got a good offensive coordinator, you can do good things. So I'm going to take the Steelers.
Amazing that they only scored like 16 points last week with 400 yards offense, which means there's still major problems there, but their defense should win in this game. Jose.
Yeah, like you said, they moved the ball around, but I still think they need an upgrade in quarterback. I think the quarterback play is weak from Detroit, and Pickett is not the guy for them. In saying that, I'm gonna take Pittsburgh as well, but just based on their defense alone, I think their defense keeps them in every single game, no matter who they're playing. I think they'll get pressure on Kyle Murray. It's gonna be a close game. I think with his running and stuff like that, and the run game of the Cardinals will keep them in the game. But I see Pittsburgh pulling this one out, like with the late field goal by Boswell. So I'll take Pittsburgh.
Gil Santos must have been drunk when he made his picks because he took the Cardinals. But Gil, he hates the Steelers, so I'm kind of not surprised he took the Cardinals in this one. Now, this is not a retake or a repeat. I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. The Atlanta Falcons are taking on the New York Jets. The New York Jets have two of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life playing for them right now. Having said that, the Falcons win this game. This is not a rerun. I have the Falcons, despite the fact that Ritter is another turnover machine. Atlanta will find a way to win, and the Jets will find a way to lose with Tim Boyle as their quarterback. Barbosa.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jets.
Oh my God! So now I'm going to have to call you Tim Barbosa if they win.
Just because their defense, especially against Ritter, they're going to destroy him.
How many points are the Jets going to score this week, Barbosa? Tell me. How many points?
They'll score 10. They're
going to win 10-9?
10-7.
10-7.
Or maybe 10-6.
All right.
I don't see them. I only see maybe Atlanta putting up 7 points max.
Wow.
That's why I'm taking the Jets.
Bijan Robinson is good, and the Jets' rush defense is not. So we'll see.
Don't worry.
Jose, what's your best guess?
You know what? Atlanta last week got lucky. I'll tell you right now. They shouldn't have won that game. Saints should have won that game. They were in the red zone so many times. They kick field goals, of course, like fumbles everywhere. In saying that too, I don't trust Riddler. The only thing that they have is the run game with Bijan Robinson. You know what? With seeing Aaron Rodgers be practicing right now, with he's practicing with the team and stuff, I think it's going to give the Jets a better hope, and I think they're going to pull off the upset, and they're going to win this week, and try to keep in the playoff hunt. So then, at least if he comes back this year, they're still close to getting a playoff spot. So I'm going to take the Jets, and it's going to be a low-scoring game. So take the under, and I see maybe a 13-10 game right here.
Yeah,
that's what I'm seeing.
Something like that. 13-10 or 10-7.
Points. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Jets.
Okay, Gil's on the Jets. I will say this. If Tim Boyle gets a touchdown, that would be a miracle. But having said that, it's not like Riddler's great either.
Oh, he got a touchdown last week.
Did he get a touchdown last week?
Yeah,
Tim
yeah,
Boyle?
He threw it to
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess.
So it's not
I
like
guess, I guess miracles happen. Yeah.
that defense, Atlanta defense, is nothing crazy.
Nothing
Like,
greatest. Yeah.
They were
No.
The Saints were moving the ball on them like cheese, like it was like butter. Every time they would be getting the kickoff, they would be in their freaking zone like in a couple of plays.
It's
Well,
just
I
not
will
saying-
say Atlanta's red zone defense was perfect. So I will say
well,
that.
that's New Orleans shooting themselves in the foot. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. I mean, they caused the fumble on with Taysom Hill at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, you're right. Riddler could throw a couple of picks and the game could be over. He threw a horrible pick six in that game. Like, I don't know how New Orleans lost that game, but I just can't take a team led by Tim Boyle. I just can't do it. And I think Rodgers, by the way, is a fraud. He's not coming back. He's just around there putting on a show for everybody. He's not coming back from an Achilles injury in December. So please, people need to stop it with Aaron Rodgers and him putting his face everywhere to keep himself relevant. People need to stop. And by the way, Jets, stop hiring his friends. Okay, Tim Boyle, Alan Lazard, freaking these guys can't play. Like, stop letting Aaron Rodgers run your organization. That's why you suck. And Robert Saleh's dragging himself into the ground with him. So, I'm taking Atlanta just because I hate the Jets. Now let's get to Barbosa's Colts. Barbosa. So you're somehow hanging in there with Minshew Magic. But now you got to go to take on the team that owns you. That's right, the Titans. With Will Levis and the big man, O. Henry. What are you going to do when you go to Tennessee with the playoffs on the line, Barbosa? What are you going to do?
You want me to make the call first?
Go ahead.
I'm going to take the Colts.
Of course.
I'm going to take the Colts.
Okay.
Enough said.
All right.
Even
Do you have
though,
anything to
even
say
though
about
Jonathan Taylor's out? Even though Jonathan Taylor's out,
Yeah,
they still
without
run the
Taylor.
ball well.
Mhm.
Zach Moss still runs the ball well. He was running the ball
Okay.
well before Jonathan Taylor. So
Mhm.
and Will Levis is still a rookie quarterback. And the Colts defense has been decent. So I'm still gonna take the Colts.
Do you have anything to say to Jose about Tampa Bay losing to the Colts last week?
No, I made the right call. That's all.
All
There's
right.
nothing to it. I just picked the right game. Sorry.
All right. Jose, who do you got?
You know, like in the Water Boy, when the Rob Schneider, when they're talking about how he gets suspended for the final game, and he's like, "Oh, we suck again."
Yeah.
That's what the Colts are right now because they lost Jonathan Taylor. There goes their best
Okay.
player.
That's right.
So,
Hey,
and
I'll tell you this. They beat Baltimore without Jonathan Taylor.
okay, listen,
And
that's
with
because
Minshew
that's
and
because
Zach Moss. Okay.
that's
So
because
now,
Baltimore was
okay.
sleeping, dude. I'll
Come
bet you guys won't beat them again like that. And Arizona beat the Cowboys. Do you think Arizona is better than the Cowboys?
Okay.
No, okay, exactly. That's like one of those games that you win by fluke. Anyways,
Okay.
in saying that, Tennessee's has been a good home team this week. This year, all their games they've won at home. I've been into the Tennessee Stadium. So has Barbosa. The atmosphere there is good. Well, sorry, you didn't go to their football
No.
trip. That's right. Oh shit, never mind. Anyway, so you know how in the stadium they tighten up. So the Titans will tighten up this week, and they'll run all over his poor little Colts. So I'm taking the Titans.
Barbosa, I'm sorry to do this to you, but the Colts' run defense is bad. And that means Mr. O. Henry is not only going to run over your team, but he's going to run all over my fantasy team, which has now clinched a playoff spot, the only team to do it so far. So Tennessee wins because O. Henry runs over your team, and you have no Jonathan Taylor, which means Minshew Magic is going to be throwing picks all over the place. So Titans, tighten up. Gil also has the Titans in this one. So Barbosa's in an island by himself with Tommy
Hey, I was
DeVito.
in an island by myself last week. All you guys picked the Buccaneers. Guess what? The Colts beat the Buccaneers. I don't mind.
Okay. All right. Let's make this one quick. The Washington Generals, the Commanders, are playing the Miami Dolphins at home. Is there anybody in the world that thinks Sam Howell has a chance of winning this game?
No,
Dolphins are winning the game. That's my pick.
Yeah.
it's
I'm
gonna
yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
be another blowout.
Yeah, this is going to be a beating. The Washington pass defense is awful, and Tua and Tyreek Hill are going to have a field day.
Washington sucks, by the way. I'm starting to agree with Gil. I'm never picking Joe Biden's team because they're inconsistent. This team is I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are.
Nobody knows.
Okay?
Nobody knows.
It's a terrible team.
Like they
It's
just
a team that's tanking.
Yeah, they're just
When you
they're
trade
gonna yeah.
Sorry, when they trade all their best defensive players, what do you expect? Do you expect them to It was a garage sale, and now they're just getting ready for next year.
Yeah, they're gonna clean house. Bye, Rivera. They're gonna fire everybody. Magic Johnson is taking over that team.
I think is gonna be the coach. What's his name? Bieniemy. What's his name?
Oh, Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator. Yeah, he's gonna be the coach.
He's gonna be
we'll
the
see.
head coach.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all on the Dolphins there. Yeah, that should be a pretty big beat down there. Now let's go to the Carolina Panthers, who just fired their coach, Frank Reich, and Barbosa. Like, I haven't seen a coach be worse than him in a 2-year period in my life. Getting fired in season twice, once by your Colts and by the Panthers. The number one pick looks awful. CJ Stroud, who was picked second, looks way better, and the Panthers look like a joke of an organization right now, with the owner out there trying to explain himself. The Bears are the beneficiaries. They're going to be good next year, with or without Justin Fields. They go to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks, who have lost 5 in a row, but have played hard and well in each one of those games. And believe it or not, still have a chance to make the playoffs because the Saints just won't run away from them. Having said that, I got the Bucks. Barbosa.
Bucks.
Jose.
The Bucks as well. But you know what happens when these games come, like the freaking new coaches and stuff, the team starts playing better. I won't be surprised if the Panthers pull this one out. Baker Mayfield, I don't know, sometimes the guy can play like he's out of this world, and then the end of the games he's throwing the interceptions but honestly, I think the Bucks need to play both sides of the ball. I think they should win this game easily. But you never know with these new coaching hires and stuff like that. It always motivates a team and stuff. So, but I can't go against the Bucks at home, and plus they need this game to stay alive in that division, and so I'm taking the Bucks.
Well, now Gil, by the way, also has the Bucks. Now we go to a team that I tried to warn people about last year. DTR is like DTD because he's not good. Cleveland went so far as to call Joe Flacco, which is real desperation, and they still have Pete Walker in there. They were terrible last week and predictably lost their game to the Denver Broncos. They go to take on the LA Rams, who suddenly are in the playoff race. I can't believe I'm saying that, but at 5-6, they are. They destroyed the Cardinals last week with the running game. Kyren Williams went nuts. I don't think they'll be able to do that against the Browns. So that makes this a very tough game to predict. But I still think the Rams offense is better. So I think they sneak one out here by a point. I'll take the Rams. Barbosa.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams also. Just they're at home. Yeah, the Browns are a mess without Deshaun Watson. And it seems like the Rams, have found their next receiver in Puka. So I'm gonna take the Rams.
Kyren Williams' return really helped them last week, so that's one of the main reasons why I'm taking the Rams. Jose?
I you know what, I was on the Browns these last 2 weeks. I thought maybe that they would just hang in there and just rush the ball, but they're not doing anything offensively with those guys at quarterback and that on the offense, not even moving the ball at all. So it's hard to pick the Browns. I think this is the beginning of the sinking of the ship for the Browns. I think they had a good season, but I think it's going to go downhill from now on. So in saying that, I'm going to take the Rams as well. I think they've been playing good offensively, even defensively. They They've been getting pressures on the quarterbacks and stuff like that. Aaron Donald's coming back to his old form and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams. So they've been pretty impressive lately. Like last week they were rushing, they're throwing the ball, and that makes them a dangerous team. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Rams.
Gil is also on the Rams. Now we go to the two big games of the week. It would be two if Gil was here, but let's talk about the first one. The red hot San Francisco 49ers are going to Philadelphia to get revenge on the Philadelphia Eagles with their quarterback. I think the Eagles have been lucky to be 10-1 this year. They've won a lot of close games. Their pass defense is one of the worst in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is playing hurt. I'm worried about our secondary against their wide receivers, but if we can get to Hurts, I think we win this game, and we win it by a fair margin. I think the 49ers are going to win this game. If Brock Purdy stays healthy, he's going to take advantage of Philadelphia's pass defense. I think the 49ers get revenge and they win this game, and then we have a race to the number 1 seed. Barbosa.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Niners also. As like you said with the Eagles, they've been finding ways. I don't know how they find ways to win games, but they have. But I just been impressed with the 49ers defense the last couple of weeks. Ever since they got Chase Young, my God, that's a scary sight when you got Bosa and Chase Young there rushing your quarterback. And I think Brock Purdy will show that he's a real deal quarterback in this game. So I think he's going to outplay Jalen Hurts, and the Niners will win this game.
This is a huge game for Brock Purdy. I can't undersell that enough. It is a massive game for him. It's probably the biggest 100%. Game of his career. Jose, what do you think?
I would say right now,
yeah.
This is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. Let me put this in points to you guys. Last year in the NFC Championship game, okay, before our third string quarterback got hurt, it was a 7-7 game. Or 14, I think it was like 7-7 or 14.
It was 7-7, and it should have been 7-0 because the touchdown they scored wasn't even a touchdown.
Yeah. So trust me, they're not gonna be able to. Whoever has Christian McCaffrey this week, buddy, that guy is gonna have a field day. Okay, on running down that defense. And Deebo Samuel, he's been talking smack.
I think that's the guy that's gonna have a huge game.
He's been talking
Deebo Samuel
since last year. Yo, dude, it's time to put up or shut up. You know what I mean? So let's do it this week. And I'm telling you right now, the Niners are going to win this game by double digits.
I agree. I agree.
Ooh.
I agree. Barbosa, I'm calling this right now one of my best bets of the week. I'm betting them on Sunday with my real money. That's how much I think they're going to win this game. They're 2.5-point favorites, and I think Vegas has got it right on the money. A 10-1 team is an underdog at home. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So I'll take that 2.5 all day. Surprisingly, Gil Santos is also on the 49ers. Shocker. I was stunned by that. All right. Before I go on to the next game, I'd like to ask Jose if he agrees or disagrees. Is this Brock Purdy's biggest game of his career?
No, it'll be when he goes to the Super Bowl this year.
Sure, but until now, for sure, this is going to be the biggest game of his career. I think he's going to want to bounce back from last year from getting hurt, and then what happened to the team and stuff like that. So it's going to be a statement game for him too. I think. Listen, like I told you, I think those losses did them well because they woke them up. And, they needed to be punched in the face a couple of times because they were winning games. And it's just like, what this Eagles team reminds me of? I told you, like, guys, before off the show, I think it reminds me of the Vikings last year. The Vikings were 12-1, winning close games, and they were pulling off a little victory here and there, and then they ended up choking everything at the end. I think that's what that defense is not scary. Like, it's not crazy good. Offensively, they are really good. Like, they have a good offensive line. Run game is good. But
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts hasn't been
Hurts-
playing that well. Jalen Hurts has been average.
I don't think he's
can't
played
say-
that well,
dude, I
unless
don't think-
in the big moments. In the big moments, he's been great.
You can't say
He's been
that
stepping
he's
up,
been
but I
average,
don't.
dude. Like I don't think he's been average. I think he's been playing well. Like he's the MVP candidate for a reason.
Mm,
Like
yeah, but he's not up there this year. I don't think he's playing at an MVP level this year.
well, the team is winning offensively because of them. They've been a lot of shootout games, and they've come out on top. Last week, he runs in for that touchdown. Like you know what I mean. He threw a couple of touchdowns to Devontae Smith, so it's not like he hasn't been playing like turnovering the ball like freaking Josh Allen or something like that, right? So he's been doing his thing. He's not had no crazy stats like the years before, but he's been doing his job, and they've been winning because of that. I just think this week they're gonna run into a juggernaut that want this game, I think, more than they do, and that's what's gonna happen. And I think the Niners this week I think they're gonna blow them out.
And I'll
That's
say
just my
this:
opinion.
like Jalen Hurts is playing on a bum leg, and you don't want to have a bum league when you're playing against that ferocious front line. So this could be a rude awakening for the Eagles if they're not able to get him time, because I don't think Swift is running for anything this week. I've already taken him out of my fantasy team. He's not running on that defense. So if they get to Hurts and he can't get the ball off, it's going to be a long day for the Eagles. And Purdy has a lot to prove. So I just think the stars are aligning for this game for the 49ers to win. So we shall see. Now, if Gil was here, this would be the game of the week number 2. But since he's not here, we're just going to talk about it. The Kansas City Chiefs, who finally woke up out of their doldrums after being down 14-0 to the Raiders. I was starting to laugh when I made that pick last week, and then the Chiefs just roared back and won that game easily. They go to Green Bay to take on the suddenly resurgent Packers, who have put themselves right back into the playoff hunt. This is a very weird game. What do you guys got, Jose?
It's no weird game at all. So the KC's gonna whip their ass easily. Like I don't like they have the better defense, they have the better offense. I trust Mahomes 10 times than I trust Jordan Love. Gil doesn't even trust his own quarterback. So what makes the Green Bay Patriots trust this guy to beat the Kansas City? Yeah, they're playing at home. They coming off a big upset against the Lions, but then again, it was Thanksgiving and the Lions were in a giving mood, like they always are in Thanksgiving. Yeah. So this is a little reality check. Hello, welcome back to the NFL season. Mahomes, you know what? He's tired. He was tired of losing and back to back, like freaking against the Philly. They shouldn't have lost that game. The guy drops the ball last week. You know what? I think as long as his wide receivers make catches, I think they'll be fine. Defensively, they're solid. Like they gave up 14 points. They got all those Raider fans all excited. And then here comes the turnovers and the freaking sacks and then the offense started playing well. Isaiah Pacheco's been running the ball really good lately too. That's another weapon for them. Last week he started getting a lot of passes to Kelce, back to Kelce, the connection again. Trust me, I think this is going to be a blowout. So I'm taking KC.
Barbosa, who do you got?
What I told you guys last week, I told you, KC is going to wake up. Watch out. All they needed was that one game. They got that game. Down 14-0. Mahomes said, "Oh yeah, okay, enough playing around here. I'm going to show you guys what KC is all about." So it's going to keep on rolling. I'm sorry, Gil. I'm sorry, Packer fans, but it's not going to be close. Kansas City is going to win this game.
Well, I'm going to I'm going to shock you guys. I don't like what I've seen from Kansas City. They've been bad for 4 weeks. They started off that game horrific, down 14-0. They were lucky they were playing the Raiders and Adrian O'Connell, or whatever the hell his name is. They lost to the Broncos. They shouldn't have beat the Eagles. So I'm not convinced that Kansas City is this juggernaut this year. Patrick Mahomes, you don't talk about Jalen Hurts not playing good. Patrick Mahomes has not been good this year. There's a reason he's not the front runner for MVP. He hasn't really played that well. Brock Purdy, by the way, and Dak Prescott have better stats than both. Brock Purdy especially leads the NFL in a lot of stats, but he gets no recognition for MVP because he's got a loaded roster. I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take Green Bay. I have a feeling that Green Bay is going to pull a stunt. They need the game more. They're trying to make the playoffs. I liked what I saw from them against Detroit. They played very, very well in that game, and they played like a team that was on a mission. I like what I saw last week. I was stunned by what I saw, but I liked what I saw. So I'll take a chance here and take Kansas City Green Bay for the upset in this one. I could be dead wrong. Now, here's how I know I'm probably wrong, because even Gil took the Chiefs, so I know I'm going to be wrong now. But I have a feeling in Lambeau late in the season could be an upset, so I'll take a chance there. And finally, Monday night, which is known for Raw now because CM Punk's over there, and I've changed the channel. Sorry, AEW. You've become WCW, and I'm going back to the E where all the stars are now. I'm sorry. MJF's going to be there in January, and I got to get ahead of the game because he's probably going to be in the Royal Rumble in January. That's how bad it's falling for you. You got Ric Flair over there with freaking Sting, for God's sakes. But that's over. We'll talk about wrestling another time. On Monday, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at home to the Cincinnati Bengals. I said it last week, and I'll make this short. No Burrow, no win. Browning is terrible. Whoever took Cincinnati, Jose, last week, needs to rethink their health. I got the Jaguars. Jose, you going to take Cincinnati again?
No, I got the Jags. I think that team is done with the Browning kids, not anything special. And they're a mess offensively. I don't know, without Burrow. That defense weak. So I'm going to take the Jags.
I'll tell you, last week, it could have been worse. Browning, he threw a couple of balls that were tipped and should have been picked that landed in Chase's hands. Otherwise, that game would have been worse. Barbosa.
No Burrow, no Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, they're done.
No said. I'm taking the Jaguars. I'm taking Tony Khan's team.
Yeah. The Jaguars are probably going to win the division now. They have all the tiebreakers, so if they get this, I think they'll have a 2-game lead on the Colts, on the Colts and the Texans. So it's going to be a battle for those last few spots there with all the 5 and 6, 6 and 5 teams, 7 and 4 teams now as we go into the year. So those are our picks for this week. Barbosa's Colts are hanging in there. Jose, me and you are going to have to communicate this week because we're going to be both nervous watching that Philly San Francisco game Sunday night. So
nervous.
I mean, you're going to have to,
nervous, man.
No, man, just, we're going to need to watch it together, in support. We're going to have to text a little bit because Jose's quiet on the text. I'm going to be texting him individually today because I don't want to hear from Lino DeVito and Randy and his Bucks and then you and your Colts talking stuff because, I don't want to hear you guys.
Nothing. You guys are the ones that do the talking. I don't say nothing about my Colts. I just let it be. Whatever happens, it happens. Unfortunately, they're 6-5.
Yeah, I don't know how, but they are. I don't know how they're 6-5, but they are.
I told you, if they had Richardson, they would have a better record. They'll be competing with Jacksonville for the.
You know what? Okay, Barbosa, calm down.
Okay.
Jose, he said 11 wins with Richardson. They have 6 without him, so he might not have been far off.
6.
I told you guys.
Him. Oh, you know what I mean? He was there for 2 or 3 of them when they won.
Yeah, he was only good for 3 wins.
Right.
So
how many do you think they would have won with Richardson?
What? Who? The Colts?
The Colts.
The Colts will be a 500 team.
Even with Richardson?
With Richardson.
9-8.
500 team. 9-8. 8-9.
Hey, I said 10 wins. If they're 9-8, that's 10 wins. That's close. That's by 1.
That's not 10 wins. That's not 10
that's
wins.
That's 1 win.
Did you fail math? I think you failed math. Okay. Anyways, never mind. Never mind.
That's by the way, Barbosa, we have it on tape. You had him at 11 wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, you had 11 and 6.
You guys had him at 5. You guys had him at 5 wins.
We did. I didn't think they would win. Yeah, I didn't think they would win 6 games. I did not. So there you go. You certainly are closer, I guess. I don't know. We'll find out. But if they get to 9-8 or 8-9, they got a chance at the playoffs, believe it or not. So good stuff from them. But this is about the 49ers. They got to win the Super Bowl this year. And if they're going to prove that they can win it and make believers out of everybody, they got to beat the 49ers this week. They already destroyed the Cowboys. I'm not even worried about that stupid team that only beats shitty teams. Tomato cans, as Chris Bouchard likes to say. Okay, I'm not even worried about them. I'm worried about the Eagles. So we gotta beat them in their house and put this doubt in their head and make them realize who the real best team in the NFL is. And I think if they win this game, they are the best team in the NFL. I don't think there's a better team than them. So we'll see. This is a big game because I don't think the AFC, like, I don't think the Ravens are I think they're a little overrated. The Ravens, because their offense is so inconsistent. Same thing with Kansas City. Very inconsistent offense, good defense. So I and then you got the Dolphins, like they're really great offensively, but they haven't beaten a good team yet, and their defense is sort of up and down. So there's no, like, the AFC is just all over the place. So this is a wide open year for the Super Bowl for sure. But in the NFC, there's only 3 teams, in my opinion, that can actually win it. So much different in the AFC though. So. All right, guys, that's our show for this week. It's a nice closer race now. Jose let us back in a little bit, so we're within six to 10 games now. So we'll see if we can catch up. Gil went out of his way to make different picks this week to catch up, so we'll see if that works out. But until next week, where we'll talk more, hopefully with Gil about his team, and if he pulls the upset, I'm gonna have a fun week next week. Let me tell you. So I hope just for that reason they do. And God bless our 49ers. Please win this week, because I really don't want to come in here upset next week. Okay, just win this game. All right. So for the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, that's Jose Carlos Gomes and Tommy Barbosa. Lino DeVito, you're lucky you're not on the show. We'll see you next week on the Reese Report, and hit my music.